Still having issues. Okay. So, I'm going to retell this story. I don't think I've ever told this story on YouTube, but just got off the phone with my mother. And I sent her a thing up in, I think in Alberta, Canada. A native woman or Inuit woman, I can't remember which, shot the biggest grizzly bear with an Ace Hardware gun 22 long rifle years ago, right? And she shot it and it fell dead, but she shot it a half a dozen more times to make sure. And then they got the carcass into town or into camp, and somehow the pelt, the whole grizzly pelt and the rifle were sold to somebody because they bought it. I don't know how much money she made, but it was worth the deal. But I always said everything in the world can be killed with a 22 long rifle to the head. A 9mm has killed both an elephant and a 22 and a 9mm have both killed an elephant. So I don't know if there's anything bigger than an African elephant, but basically everything can be killed with a 22 long rifle. Shot placement is the key. I was barely legal enough to have a job, and I'm going to try and say this without any names, but there was a fellow that owned this processing plant for beef and deer whenever deer season was open. And I had to make deliveries to and from. And one day we get there, and it just so happens that they had a bull that they were, the back of the store had a holding pen. You know, they back up the truck and you load the animal in, and then you load it in. It was a cinder block shop, simple rectangle, right? The back door came in, there was a chute, and there was a door next to it that hardly ever got used. Everybody always went out the front door. But then there was another wall uh, that you had to go around and go around to get out. So you could shoot an animal, and the people, whenever they were shooting the animal, would hide behind the second wall because the 22 would have to go around. So basically, it was a safety thing. And I get there, and there's this big ass steer, you know, Texas Longhorn, whatever you want to call it. Fucking, they're all mutts, you know. And it's loaded up into the deal, and it can barely fit. I mean, how they got this damn cow in there in the first place, this bull in there in the first place, was fucking amazing. But what you do is you load the single shot 22, you pop it in the head, and then you truss it up. You know, they had an overhead crane, gut it out, haul out the shit, start, you know, taking off the hide and quartering up. And behind that, clearly visible to the shooting area, were the stainless steel tables with the band saws and, you know, the standalone band saws and the meat slicers and everything. And basically you could pressure wash this whole damn room and sanitize it. And it was all painted white and nice and shit. But they said, oh, you know, hold on just a second, he's got to shoot this bull. So we're all standing there in the second, behind the second wall. It's just like an entryway, like a zigzag entryway, right? Like a bathroom without, like a Buc-ee's. You have to walk in and walk around the wall kind of thing. So they said, hold on just a second, he's got to shoot this bull so that we can process it. And sure enough, you know, everybody's got their ears plugged, and you hear them loading the gun and shooting the bull, and the bull just plops down. And he's so massive, he doesn't even go to the ground because there's not enough room in the cage, the trough, the holding trough, right? And okay, everybody can come in now. So we all go in there, and I'm sitting there picking up the sausages that they had over on the other side. And this damn bull, now he's pissed, and he stands straight back up again. Like nothing happened, just, snorting and hoofing. And they're like, well, hold on just a second, I gotta put another one in him. So we all go to the second one, and I'm like, how often does it take, 2 shots to kill a damn animal at point blank range? And they're like, oh, that's never happened before. So he shoots the bull the second time, and sure enough, damn bull goes down like a ton of raw meat, falls to the floor, gets wedged in the pen, and everything's good to go. And he says that everything's clear, so he goes and wraps the chain to hoist this damn thing up, and he's got it hoisted up, and the damn thing comes to life. And of course, half his body now is lifted above the corral because it's only high enough to keep the animal in. It's made so you can lift them out once you shoot them and they're dead. But this damn bull's now half hanging off the ground, and his back feet are still touching, and yet now he's really pissed off. Well, the guy that originally shot him twice freaks out and drops the rifle and runs because this damn bull's thrashing about and everything. I'm just sitting there watching this goat fucking and a half, and the bull's so heavy, he destroys the pen, bouncing off the wall. And I mean, this is like heavy gauge metal industrial shit. Destroys the fucking pen, pulls the damn anchor system out of the wall. The whole assembly slides off the bolts because he sheared off the damn bolts off of this assembly. So now he's in the area, but he's still tangled up with all the chains and the hoist and everything. Plus he's got half the cattle guard around him. Plus he's got 2 bullets in his head, and he's pissed off. And of course everybody's leaning against the wall like, what do we do? Because there's me, 2 grown men, and 2 women standing there. And I said, where's the rifle? And he said, the rifle is in the room. Well, I go in there and realize the guy had left I get the rifle, and I can't find the cartridges. He had left the cartridges in his butcher pocket, right? So I go back around the corner after realizing the gun's empty and get the cartridges and go back and shoot the bull. This time I had to go up from underneath because he's still hanging from the ceiling, so he's looking up. So I had to go up from the underneath, and sure enough, the damn bull stops moving, And dumbass me, I didn't have any earplugs in, and you fire 22 inside of a closed building, it hurts your ears. They get everything settled, and they rig up another system, and they get this bull out, and they go to slice him open to start cutting him open to gut him. And the damn bull comes back to life. And he's got 3 bullets in him now. 2 from the top and 1 from the underside that I had done. So of course I'm sitting there, it's a single shot rifle, and I'm sitting there with the damn plastic and getting the bullet out and putting it in the rifle to shoot this damn thing again, shoot him right through the side of the head. Boom. He's out again cold, right? I said, let's make sure about this shit. So when he's out, he kind of hangs there. So I pushed on him because his legs are all stiff, and animals kind of stiffen up whenever they're seizuring or whatever because of the dying. So I pushed his leg up against the wall, and I put another bullet right behind his ear and make sure it's good and done, right? So we thought it was pretty much over with. So they rig up the system again and have this bull hanging there. And we're getting everything organized, and like, what do we do? Now a simple delivery job has turned into, help clean up. The damn bull comes back to life. He's got the 2 original bullets, the 1 bullet I put from underneath, and then 2 bullets in the side of his head. And now that he's come to life in the rigged up system that we had, since he broke the original one, he breaks free. And when he breaks free, he falls over what's remaining of the trough that's holding him. So now he's in the room and he's half cut open because there's blood and shit pumping out. He's cut and he's got the 2 original shots, 5 shots in his head, and he's not dead. And the guy had already started cutting, is what snapped him back out of it. But now he's got all these bullets in his head, 5 I think at this point, and he's standing there just looking around. So this time I loaded the gun again and shot him in the opposite side of the head, in between the ear and the eye, and it should be a perfect brain shot. And the bullet hits him just fine, and I'm less than 5 feet away from him, and he drops, just fucking drops. So we decide to wait to see if he's officially dead. And just about the time where we all agree that he's officially dead, I go and give the bullets back to the guy, and I cleared the rifle, and I set the rifle in the corner. Big fucking mistake. This son of a bitch pops back up, and the room, I would say, was about 20 feet wide by 40. Best recollection. Maybe 30 by 40. Full of all the equipment necessary, and the freezer's off to one side, through another door. This bull goes, as soon as I set the rifle down and we went around the corner, this bull pops up back to life, and he still has his horns, and he's pissed off, still squirting blood's everywhere, fucking just shooting and dropping on the floor. He slips, falls, gets pissed off because it's concrete, polished concrete, easy to clean, painted and everything. And he's slipping and sliding and, freaking out. Well, he gets back up and just ramshacks everything in the whole fucking place. The bandsaw, the meat slicers, the tool rack, the industrial sink, the fucking tables, everything. Well, the problem was with this building is the front door opened outwards. So we, as a group, decide to run out front and close the door. Well, nobody had the key. The owner had the key. So there's no way of locking this damn door shut. So, and there's no 2x4 or anything to put up against it. And there's barriers in place, so you can't back a door up to the front door to keep it closed. So we're hoping that this bull doesn't figure out how to do the zigzag, because he's destroying all this equipment. Fucking $30,000 worth of equipment like it was nothing. Stainless steel tables that were welded, everything. Just fucking, well, about that time the owner shows up, and he sees 5 people up against this damn door and is wondering what the hell happened. And we explain the story, this bull's been shot in the head 5 times, and he's in there just ransacking the fucking place. It's like a hurricane in there, and he hears it. So what does he do? He draws his .38 revolver that he kept on his ankle and goes in the door. And they said, close the door, and whenever I yell for you to open it, everything's fine. So he goes in there with his .38 pistol and just starts shooting the damn thing, in the broadside, basically. And he shoots his 5 shots, 5 or 6 shots, whatever the hell it was. And then he comes banging on the fucking door, let me out, because the bull's trying to figure out how to make the turn with him on his ass. So we let the owner out of the store, and we're all 6 now. 6 people lean up against this damn wall. the bull destroyed a cinder block wall that was backfilled with rebar. Just fucking took out a whole section of the wall. And trying to get to the guy, and that had just shot him with the 38 revolver. And finally we're all sitting there, leaning up against this damn door and realizing, okay, we're gonna have to do something. What do? We're out of guns, we're out of bullets. The only gun left, the 22's left in there. Nobody has another gun. What are we gonna do? And he says, I know I hit it at least 3 or 4 times. It'll die. We just got to give it time. Well, we're all just waiting for this damn thing to die, but it doesn't want to die. It wants to go back and destroy all the other shit in this room. An industrial processing plant, on a small scale, small city processing plant. And finally we hear this weird noise, like, animal makes a weird noise. He made this snort / groan noise and falls over and like, wait a minute, we've heard this before, don't go in there. He's like, no, officially he's got to be dead by now. And we're telling him, no, the owner, no, just give it a little bit, let's see if he comes back, we've seen this before, da 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 da. Oh, finally, it was an amount of time, which was probably only about 5 minutes, and he realized, okay, we haven't heard another sound. We have to take care of this bull now. So we open the door, and it's like the worst horror movie you've ever seen. You wouldn't recognize the machinery if you didn't know what it was. The stainless steel tables were pulled from the walls, torn apart. How you can rip through stainless steel sheeting is still just fucking amazing to me. And we're all just sitting there of all the fucking blood and mess and gore, because in the middle of doing all of this shit, he had cut himself on various pieces of equipment. And I think he even cut off one of his legs somehow, and by himself. And because there was a cow over here and a fucking foot over here. Don't know how that happened. And the owner just backs up against the wall and slides down, and he's like, how am I going to recover from this? And we didn't think about the financial thing, the aspect of it. We were just thinking about, this is the most fucked up shit we've ever seen in our lives. We've done this 100 times and never had a problem the time that I knew him. Most of the people that bring in deer, they're already dead. So it's only the cattle, and I can't tell you how many cattle we shot with the 22 long rifle. Well, he calls the owner, or the owner of the business calls the owner of the cow and said, look, we've had an incident. We're probably just gonna have to, gut him out and hang him in the freezer, because we're gonna have to buy new equipment. And he's like, well, okay, just grind everything up into to hamburger meat. If you don't, we'll talk about the financial aspects of it later. But we had to bring in the water hose and, do things the old-fashioned way and get everything all said and done. But the swearing, the rapid gunfire, I wish I had before and after photos of this shop and the incident of how in the hell this bull had lost part of his leg, hoof / ankle, and destroyed, $250,000 worth of shit. The one bandsaw is like 25 grand. The chute, I don't know how much the chute was, but it ended up being like $125,000 worth of damage. And after that, they figured out another way of killing the animals outside and then having them dragged in case that ever happened again. But it was the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just, I've never shot an animal in the head with a 22 that didn't die, but this thing took a minimum of 5 22s to the head, and it was either a 5 or 6 shot revolver from a 38, perfect broadside. Oh, they all his shots hit, by the way, on the bull. Lung, heart, the heart was destroyed. Finally, he just bled out. But it was without a doubt the most fucking bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. And there, other than a single knife, there was one knife that was unaffected in any manner. That was on the magnet strip on the wall. That was the only thing in the entire shop that wasn't damaged. So the owner took the knife and put it between 2 pieces of the cinder block and just bent the knife and just said, fuck it, if we gotta replace everything, we gotta replace everything anyways. So, yes, it is possible to kill a grizzly with a 22 long rifle. Yes, it is possible to kill a giant bull with the 22. Just thought y'all would find that funny, but one bull destroyed an entire shop like it was nothing. And it took this bull probably the course of 35 to 40 minutes from the time it was put in the chute to the time it finally fucking died. And it was fucking amazing. Destroyed, I think, over $125,000 worth of shit, and that was I'm 43 now, and I was probably maybe 16 at the time. I think 15 at the time. So yeah, it was fucking epic, man.